This is Justin AMZN on Thursday, February 13th, 2020. Taking a look at the 5 minute last couple of days. I was talking yesterday about this being a double top that looked like it could come down into this level again and turn into a Gartley where it actually doesn't make a double top. And it looks like there's a couple little prices printed down here, which technically does then, if you include after hours, make this into more or less a Gartley. The upturn channel is working on the upper end. We broke through a little bit, double top there, came back down, pushed back above it, made new highs with some inverted hammers. Sorry, those are hard to see. There you go. Inverted hammers here, a couple of hammers here, inside candle, and then broke down very strongly. Overall, I mean, yesterday was an inside day from this candle, and then today is an inside day of this candle. So on the daily, we're just chopping around up here. There's a lot of indecision. These somewhat look like inverted hammers. This was a bearish retest gap today, and it definitely retested, moving up into a double top here. And once that was put in, came down to a hammer. I thought it was just going to run from there, and it did, made a new high, and then stopped. And I was trying to find, what price, what was going on up here that it just kind of halted in its tracks. And I'm just seeing the breakdown from yesterday, the same price. And we talked about that with these hammers, inverted hammers. It came right back into where it was rolling over really from up here, retested here, that same price area. And so these prices are becoming really relevant. And these candles in particular, giving people opportunities to say, okay, I'm going to get out up here. I don't like these candles, or tighten your stop up or something like that on its way up. And, also to be getting in bearish and reversing a position. So all that was possible. I wasn't crazy about how the bottom end of this channel wasn't really lining things up. And so just with kind of getting into this a little bit, I just moved this up just to see, okay, where's this lining up? And I was a little surprised to see we had a low in here, come up right into a high, almost touched a low, touched the high, touched a low. And it just made me wonder, it's like, okay, is this really the range? So on this, we got some ranges around 17, 18 bucks. Now that's the exact height of this channel. So, it actually moves more than that. So going from, because it's an uptrend. So going from this price, about 21.45, up to this price, about 21.65, it's about 20 bucks on this slant. And then coming back down, it's going to be less, so it's only about 15 to come back down from that price to here. So it's just the way that the angle works out, and it didn't actually make it all the way back down to here. Just an interesting thing to note with this channel, it's like, okay, something going up, it should get there. Like if it takes a little time, if it shoots straight up, okay, get out after, it makes it up to 17, 18 bucks. That's a nice target. If it takes a little more time, you can maybe get 20, but on the downside, maybe you only get 15. It's just interesting to see how that range is working. It's not something I really looked at before. But again, we've got candles that are guiding us. During the day, we had a really nice high wave candle, broke out, came right into this, made this kind of strange double top here, started to roll over, and still we were above or inside of this high wave candle. This was just kind of a breakout, a quick retest, a secondary retest, and then look at these four candles right here. These four candles have pretty much the same highs. Actually, I'm not sure the highs. Let's see. Yeah, they're all really, really close to each other. They're all within like 20 cents, 25 cents of each other. So once it got above that high with this candle, it's like, oh, okay, it's going bullish now. Actually retested again, gave you a really nice entry back within this range. And that's something I like talking about, where if you can get back into the range of one of these really nice reversing candles, like a hammer here, you're into the range of that candle, great, set that up as your range so we can look at calls at 9:35 and see, okay, what price was that we could have tried to get into after the candle. You had, 5, 10, 11 maybe minutes as it pulled back, maybe just 10 minutes, but still 10 minutes to set that up. And then it ran, it moved on up from there. So great opportunity, just look at the candles. This is This is an inverted hammer and then a hammer again going bullish or hammer-ish. I mean, it doesn't have a body, but that's the idea there. Inverted hammer up here, another hammer here. This one almost comes back down to this hammer. It does just about come back down to these highs. So that's the buying zone. These candles really made up the buying zone, and we're back into that with this. So that's where we paused here and then rallied again. So some great opportunities to go bullish. And then again, with going bearish, this was not as clean going bearish with these candles. We printed a higher high, and I mean, that's kind of the biggest clue. We made a higher high and then pulled back really large. Made a higher high here from here and pulled back really large. So maybe that was the clue here to get out, to reverse, something like that. But if you're playing off of these two candles, you can get in bearish as it breaks here, or you can get in bearish thinking, okay, if this breaks down below maybe this candle, get in a little earlier than some others. This really looks like a continuation. You have a bullish candle, bearish candle. It's just too much bullishness in a row, it seems. And like I said, it just moved down. Really nice retest here. This is kind of an S curve as it moves back down. But again, we didn't quite get all the way back down here. So we'll see what that means for tomorrow. But let's look at what's going on at the 935 on the calls. So I'm looking at the 21.75 price, 935 on the calls. Nobody was buying. The range in this candle was $1, and we're into that range. 5x4 could have been a really nice setup through here, and it just worked. 5x4, it ran up to 7 pretty quickly, so that was a nice target, or 8 was a nice target up here, and that would have been getting in anywhere in here for 5x4 and letting it ride up to 7, and you're out. 7 or 8 even, and you're out. Getting in after this hammer, so getting in 1205. Let's see what's going on at 1205. Oops. So 1205. Okay, so we made the hammer. 1205 is the next candle. We just based. We made a really nice. Oh, hang on. There we go. All right, we just made a really nice base. All these have like the same lows through here, right around 475. So even again, setting up 5x4 over here would have been nice after this. So it made a low of 393 here. So 5x4 again would have worked. And again, your target could be 7, 8. This one actually pushed up to almost 11. So this is one that you would have had to be watching to say, okay, I'm gonna get out a little bit later. I'm gonna hold this a little longer. Or you just say, okay, I'm gonna hold this longer and I'll trail my stop. And so as it's breaking out, you get rid of your target, or you moved your target up some more to 9 or 10, and then you trail your stop up to 5, and then 6, and then 7. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna hold it at 7 because there's a candle right here, or maybe 750. See if we can get a bounce in, and then it didn't bounce. All right, so let's look at over here what's going on, and this is kind of breaking down. Now this looks like a really nice stair step, but you got a lot of wicks. There's not a lot of solid candles except for this big candle and then this big candle back down. So this is trying to remember if there's a name for a pattern like this. It's just like a plateau where it just shoots up, does something sideways, shoots back down. It just it just kind of looks like a plateau up here where it's just kind of flat, except for these wicks being much taller. So let's look at this 25 minutes up here and figure out, okay, at what point could we have gone bearish? Could it be right below this candle? What would our range be on the options? Could we have gotten in bearish here and then held through this? So let's look at the high of the puts on this candle at 125. So I'm looking at the 2150, and we're going to go to 125. Okay, so this candle, the high of this candle was 6. So let's say that's the worst place you were buying. Well, you couldn't have done 6 by 5. Well, not 6 is the high, sorry. 550 is the high. 550 by 450 would have been stopped out. So that would not have worked. Let's come back over here. Okay. Do we need to go further out with the options? We're only $16 away from the strike. The strike's right here. We actually get at the money. Let's see what happens a little bit after that and see, okay, were there some opportunities to get in something smaller? So after this candle, this made a slightly lower high, lower low. 5 by 4 could have worked through here, getting that set up, possibly getting in 5 by 4 right here on this candle as it moves up. This candle was the really large one at 140. So this is the big one breaking down at 140. This then retests. Could you have gotten it on a retest? Just had an order sitting out there. That would have been over here. You're already up at 6. So I don't really like the 2150 strike for kind of the moves we had here, unless you're buying, calling that a top. And it's just hard to do that, Even those candles, so those upper wicks, they were only making wicks over here, and it continued going lower on the puts. So let's go out a little bit farther. I'm just going to go out $10 and see, okay, is this so much different? Now another $10 out, and it's cheaper, which is good. Let's see what we're looking at. So 140, there's that, and this candle wicked all the way back down there. I really like that. Getting in 3 by 2, it had a nice base here on 2. Here's the candles that were making those wicks over here. So it got lower on the puts, and it's just, it's making a nice little base here. So 3 by 2, get in on this candle, and that candle was this one. So that retested enough that it actually got back into the range where you were up here, and then rolled down. So if you're letting that roll down, your target's going to be this hammer. That's my guess, and it's right at 2150, and we made it close there within 8 cents. So if that's your target, you're in at 3 by 2, and then it moves up to about where that hammer is. Probably call it 8. I'm sorry, that's a 5. No, I'm sorry, that's a 6. This is $6. I gotta lean a little closer to see the screen sometimes. All right, 3 by 2, target is 6 for this hammer, and it works. You're out for 3R. That's a nice setup. Now, had you done the same thing with what's going on in the calls, where you move your target up like to 8, thinking, okay, it's going to push on through, you're going to trail your stop, you probably got trailed out at $4 because you probably moved it right below that candle. Now, if you moved it up to 3 or 350, maybe you're still in this, and then it starts to move back up, and then you're putting your stop at 450, or at 4, and then 450, and then 5, and you got to exit the end of the day. You still get out for 6, where you could have gotten out here with less hassle, just 30 minutes, 25 minutes of being in a trade, 30 minutes being in a trade, rather than the last hour and 20 minutes and kind of scrambling at the close. So sometimes those are the nicer ones to have, where it's just giving you exactly the move you're looking for, and you're out, and you made that profit, and you carry that, it's positive carry into the next day. So those are good moves, good trades. But a lot of candles here just telling us, I didn't even talk about the 5 or the 21 today. I'm just looking at candles. High wave candle, I mean, they're on here, but I kind of turned them off. Like, my eyes aren't even noticing where they're at. And so just looking at the candles, looking at where the candles are, looking at the levels from the previous days, just getting familiar with what's going on, where we think it'll go, that kind of stuff. So going back to the daily, we're way up here. We've been moving on up, pretty much straight up since since earnings, but since we were down around like 1815, right around this pivot, we've been just straight up. So 1815 all the way up to 2185. It's a really large move. It may not be done. This is a really nice rest. It can just continue, and we'll see what happens. Back on the 5-minute here, I meant to do this when I was looking at and talking about this looking like a Gartley, because we're going sideways. It's consolidating some. We've got some lower highs, and then depending on where you draw this, I mean, you could have drawn something like that yesterday and said, oh, it's gonna, that's a triangle, or that's the triangle, and it's breaking down, and here's your retest, and it's gonna go, and well, it didn't do that. So let's get some of those. There you go. You can also just draw this flat and include pre-market data. And that means tomorrow we could do something like that and just chop around some more. And then Monday we keep going like this. And then Tuesday we could go up or we go down. or tomorrow we could, Friday we could do some more chopping around and then continue grinding higher, or again continue going lower, and you've got maybe something like that. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's just a pattern that I'm noticing, that it's a really nice consolidation, making it either a descending triangle or making a symmetric triangle. And I just don't know exactly right now, just because of where the actual day was with these levels, and then kind of I'm seeing an up here because this was higher than this, and then the highs have been pretty clear. So this is definitely a down. This is lower highs, definitely. I'm not sure exactly how to draw the bottom of this. So that's why I like the flat bottom here, right at the previous all-time high. Not all-time high, sorry, the after earnings all-time high, the 21.33.74. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing. Hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.